Lagos never truly sleeps. The streets are alive with the sounds of honking cars, traders shouting prices, and the occasional outburst of street musicians entertaining passers-by. Ifeoma had always felt safe in the chaos, but lately, something had changed. It started as a feeling, a strange sensation prickling at the back of her neck as she walked home from work. At first, she brushed it off. Maybe she was just paranoid from working too many late nights at the newspaper. Then came the messages, anonymous texts. Short, chilling sentences. I see you. You looked beautiful today in your blue dress. You shouldn't walk home alone. Her hands trembled as she read them. She tried blocking the number. But the messages kept coming from different unknown contacts. Ifeoma, this is not normal, Amoka, her best friend and roommate, said one evening. You need to report this. Ifeoma sighed. To who? The police will just say it's a prank. Or they'll ask me if I have a jealous ex-boyfriend. But Amoka was right. Something was wrong. One night, Ifeoma worked late at the newspaper office, editing an investigative report. When she finally packed up and left, the streets were quieter than usual. As she walked, she heard footsteps behind her. She stopped. The footsteps stopped too. A chill ran down her spine. She turned quickly, expecting to see someone, but the street was empty. Heart pounding, she sped up. Then she saw it, a shadowy figure standing under a streetlight, watching her. She couldn't make out the face, but she knew he had been following her. Ifeoma ran the rest of the way home, bolting the door behind her. Amoka saw her panic. What happened? Ifeoma could barely speak. Someone was watching me. Amoka's face paled. We need help. The next day, they went to the police. Detective Sola Adeyemi, a serious-faced man in his 40s, listened carefully. He sighed. His lack of urgency made Ifeoma uneasy, but then, the gift started arriving. A bouquet of flowers was left at her office desk, with no sender's name. A bracelet, an expensive one, was delivered to her house, and worst of all, a photo of herself, taken from outside her bedroom window. She dropped the picture like it bound her. This was not just a stalker, this was a predator. Ifeoma and Amoka started noticing small but chilling signs. Doors left unlocked. Windows slightly open when they knew they had shut them, and the messages became bolder. You are mine, Ifeoma. No one else can have you. That was when Detective Sola took things seriously. We need to find out who this person is, he said. Do you suspect anyone? Ifeoma thought hard. Then she remembered Turnbuckle, a wealthy businessman she had once interviewed for an article. He had been charming, polite, but a little too interested in her. She had turned down his dinner invitations, thinking nothing of it. Could it be him? She decided to test it. At an event where she knew Turn would be, she watched him closely. He was smooth, confident, but when he saw her, his smile lingered too long. When she excused herself to the restroom, her phone vibrated. A new message. Why are you talking to other men, Ifeoma? You belong to me. She felt sick. She had just seen Turn across the room. That meant he had someone else watching her for him. Detective Sola began digging into Turn's background. What he found was disturbing. Turn had a history of fixation on women, former employees, ex-girlfriends. Some had disappeared. Connor, a streetwise Okada rider, told Ifeoma he had seen strange cars parked outside her house at night. She was being haunted. One evening, Ifeoma and Amoka came home to find their apartment ransacked. A single note was left on the table. If you won't love me, you'll never love anyone else. Amoka screamed. Ifeoma knew it was time to run. Detective Sola arranged for Ifeoma to stay at a safe house, but somehow Turn found her. She woke up one night to a creaking sound. A shadow loomed over her bed. Before she could scream, a hand clamped over her mouth. It was Turn. His eyes were wild. Why do you keep running? He whispered. Terror surged through Ifeoma. Then, bang, the door burst open. Detective Sola and his team stormed in. Turn tried to run, But Connor, who had been watching outside, tripped him. Town hit the floor. It was over. Town was arrested, and his network of spies, including some of his employees, was exposed. Ifeoma moved to a new city, trying to rebuild her life, but even in safety, she would never forget the feeling of being watched, because sometimes, the worst monsters were the most charming smiles, and in the streets of Lagos, danger is always closer than you think. The end.